Basically, what we're talking about today is music and how we started playing together.
Here we go.
So we decided to play together when I was around level 3 or 4 because my dad has his own drum set at home. So I was just playing one day and he decided to like chime in and improvise on his beats, right?
We like to call ourselves to a mini band that we play every time we have a chance. Especially right now that we're under quarantine and we have a lot of time to spend with the kids, right? And I guess it plays out really well.
I learned this jazz song around a year or 2 ago and we really like it so much, so we've just been practicing it every day and it's become our daily ritual in a sense. And now even my mom joins in, and today she brought my brother to dance in the middle of the room while we were just playing.
We had to take a break from the computer, 24/7, and let's get a fresh start doing something else totally different. It's pretty enjoyable thing.
Yeah, that's basically how we just take a break every once in a while, and it's really fun. It lightens up our mood a lot.
So this quarantine has been kind of boring for all of us, I feel like, and I wanted to find a way to spice it up or make it a little bit more fun for me at least, and I hope that I can maybe inspire you to do something of the sort. So it started off with me just kind of lounging around inside, so I figured I need to expand my horizons and kind of start doing something else. So I decided to take on gardening. Now it started with I was going to do something small, maybe pull up a few weeds and plant like maybe a beet or a carrot, but I accidentally went full force and did a whole shebang of things. And I want you to also kind of maybe take from it that maybe you can start your own garden, or maybe you can get something from this. Heading outside my pool. As you can see, they're high quality pools. And we're gonna head to the first part of the tour. So we're gonna go down this path that I have here. And look at this. So this is right here, zucchini squash. Now I bought this as a plant that had already been planted, and it grew up to be as big as it is now. So as you can see, it kind of started small and then it grew up, and what I have around it actually is tomatoes, if you want to take a look here. So the tomatoes will help protect the zucchini squash and will kind of grow above it while the zucchini squash grows below it. So it's like a 2-in-1, and I can definitely pack this space up, and in a couple of weeks I'll have these tomatoes higher and they'll actually start producing. They may actually start producing soon because as you can see here, we have little flowers, which is really exciting. Alright, so here is my green beans. They are extremely tall. They are way taller than me, and I got these as seeds. They started off all the way down here, and they grew and grew and grew and grew and grew and grew, and they eventually became all the way up here. And as you can see, they kind of grow in spirals around these poles that I have, and they grew in spirals down there. And as they grew, they began to wrap around each other because they ran out of spirals. And let's see if we can find a green bean. I saw one earlier. Right here. So they produce right here these green beans, and they have an interesting taste. They don't taste like a green bean, but they are still very green bean-esque. They're very good. It's very fresh. It also tastes a little bit like dirt just because I haven't washed it yet. But they have a sweet, tangy flavor, and these took about, I want to say, 2 months to get as full as they are now. But these grow pretty fast. The beans themselves grow within like 2 to 3 days fully. So that's pretty good. And right next to it is my broccoli. So these are broccoli stalks. And they came from seeds. I planted them as seeds, and they grew all the way up like this. And so what's supposed to happen is they're supposed to grow up, and as they grow up, they form these little things. And the first one they form is actually a big one that looks like a giant broccoli stalk. But then you chop that off like this, and then it'll grow smaller ones, and then you can chop those off, and that's how you kind of get the smaller broccoli. And as you see, I have 2 growing. Now these didn't grow successfully at the beginning, but they are growing now, and as you can tell, they haven't fully matured yet, so I have to give them maybe another 2 weeks to fully mature and create a full broccoli. So that's actually really exciting for me. Alright, so these are my carrots. Now as you can kind of tell, they're in all different directions, and that's because I watered them yesterday, and they kind of just fall down when they water because their leaves aren't that strong, but then they prop back up after like a day or so. So here we have different kinds of carrots I actually planted. These are on this side over here are all going to be colored carrots, meaning they're going to be purple, white, and of course orange. And then over here I planted regular carrots, and they're just going to all be orange. So let me actually pick one for you so you can see what it looks like. So here is a carrot right here, and I'm going to pull it up so you can see what it looks like. So you want to, as you're pulling it up, you want to kind of twist it and kind of let the carrot lose its grip on the ground. And you just want to be really gentle with it and keep spinning and pulling. Here we go. Oh, I can kind of feel it giving. It looks like it might be a white carrot, which is actually, I haven't pulled one of the white ones up yet. Twisting and pulling. All right, here we go. Twisting and pulling. Very slow, because sometimes you can rip the leaves. Oh, here we go. So this is one of the carrots I have grown. It's very long, and it's very white, which is extremely cool. As you can tell, the leaves are much bigger than the carrot itself, but if you give the carrot some time, it can actually grow to be bigger and thicker than this. So next to my carrots, I have green onions. Now, I left these kind of weedy, so I'm going to show you how to pull some of them. But first of all, I'm going to show you these green onions. I planted these as these were seeds, and I bunched them together to show that they can be grown really close together, which is great. But let me see, let's pull a green onion up so we can see what it looks like. So these ones have really soft leaves, and you have to kind of be careful. These are the same kind of twist and pull, twist and pull, twist and pull, twist and pull. And here we go. And there it is. We've got a little green onion right there. And these are really good to like put in like, not salads, but like dishes to kind of just add some flavor. Alright, so here's the carrot and here's the onion. We're just going to place it in the pool, kind of just rub the surface of it, kind of get it really nice and soft and clean. And it's okay that the carrot's in there. There we go. And so now it's much wider and much cleaner. And then we've got the green onion, and we're just going to kind of drizzle that in water too because it's safer. Alright, so I came to the realization that I accidentally did not record that last clip, so I've already eaten some of my carrot. We're going to do it again. It tastes like a carrot. It's a little bit dirty, like I said, because I didn't wash it very well. And these are this is the stem of the onion, and these are also edible. Just eat them like right off, and these are actually cleaner because they haven't been touching dirt. They are also very good. I can come out here and pick whatever I want, kind of eat it if I'm a little bit hungry or peckish. Well, as you can see, we've kind of got a bunch of weeds here. This is all the green stuff in between these leaves. And so what you want to do is, first you want to find the source of some of the leaves. So like right here, you want to find the source of where it's coming from. As you can see, they're kind of tangled. But you kind of want to just pull. Pull, and it gets the roots out. I know a lot of you guys how to pull weeds, know how to pull weeds. But when you're planting, you want to be careful not to destroy the plants around it, especially if they're as fragile as like these leaves. And you kind of just want to pull, and like as you're pulling, you're gonna like feel some tugs everywhere, but that's okay because it is getting rid of all the plants that are sucking up moisture from the plants that you're trying to grow. And as you keep doing this, you might want to do it like once or twice a day, just to kind of clear up what's been going on. And so there's a couple weeds that are being pulled, and it kind of gets harder as you get more like this further back. So I'll probably be getting these later today. So that is how you kind of get rid of weeds and how you kind of do some care of your garden. And there we go. Now these weeds can be taken to the trash can, or you can burn them. I don't recommend burning them, even though it's not as much fun. But in the trash they go. Perfect. Okay. Next part of our tour is a little sad because these were my favorite to grow and they died the fastest. I don't know why. I kind of looked up how to take care of these, but they just kept kind of getting browner and browner, as you can kind of tell about down here. These were snap peas, and some of you may have grown them in like elementary school or in kindergarten, but they were really fun to grow. They're really fun to watch grow. They have like these little vines that they wrap around with, as you can kind of tell, which was really cool to watch, because one day they would have vines all sprawled all over the place, and then they would wrap around each other the next day, and it was really cool to watch. But these were really exciting to grow, and they just kind of started dying real fast, which was a little disappointing. But I can actually show you a snap pea right here. It starts off as like a flower, and then it turns into this little pea, and they're extremely fresh and extremely sweet, and you just kind of pinch it off. You can just eat it, and these don't really taste like dirt. They just taste like really sweet and have that crunch. This is one of my favorite parts of my garden. we have my corn. This is corn. I have corn planted all over the place in the garden, and I have 2 corn right here planted next to each other. They're about 3.5, 4 feet tall at the moment, and they're estimated to get around 10 feet tall. I planted these at the beginning of quarantine, and so they've been around for about 2 months, 3 months now, which is really exciting. They won't produce for another month or so, or maybe even 2 months, because I'm not sure exactly how long these take to grow, but this is my corn. And then over here we have another corn, but as you can tell, this one's really tiny, and this was actually the first one I planted, and it didn't grow, and it still hasn't grown. So I think it might be a midget corn, or it just is not gonna grow at all. So I kind of just left it here just in case it wants to grow or decides to grow, but I can't really tell why it's not growing. Next we have lettuce. This is my lettuce. It's grown in this bucket because I ran out of room everywhere else. These were planted as seeds also, and then they grew up to be lettuce. I could pick these in right now and eat them if I wanted to, but I'm gonna let them grow some more just because I want to get full hedges of lettuce. I believe that's what it's called. And these were also grown from seeds, which is very exciting. You every once in a while have to sprinkle coffee beans around just to kind of keep them alive, which is really exciting. Slugs will come at them. Everything comes at these because they're so sweet and delicious. So you just gonna have to monitor them. And then finally in this area we have cucumbers. Now I have some cucumbers growing, as you can tell kind of right here, but this is my biggest one so far. This, I don't know if you can see, let's see right here. That is my biggest cucumber right here, this bad boy. I call him Big Bertha. I'm just kidding, I don't call him that. He's just a really big cucumber, my biggest one yet. And they grow up or to the side, so I've been kind of keeping them propped by having them go against other plants and whatnot. So this is really exciting. So that is kind of the garden in my backyard, but I share a house right next to my grandparents. So I have one little small spot that I can show you, which is right over this way. So let's take a little bit of a tour there. All right, so we're gonna take a little tour to the garden in my grandparents' house. We gotta move this, and we're going this way. Let's take a walk over here. And here we have another garden. So first we have these tomato plants. This tomato has been around for about a year now. We kind of just added on to it, but it's been growing for a year and it still is producing tomatoes, which is really cool. This grew from a seed and it has continued growing. And then down here we have cilantro, and this cilantro grew and grew and grew, but then some of you may know pincher bugs. Some pincher bugs came along and they ate the whole thing in under 2 weeks, which was really sad. So we kind of just let them devour at it, give them some food. Next we have some peppers. These need a little bit more time to grow. I planted these a little bit after I planted everything else, so they're gonna take a little bit longer than everything else. Next to this we have another corn, because I had to plant another corn. This one is nice and strong and growing like the other ones, which is really awesome. And then following that, we actually have my only fruit that I have, or if you count tomatoes, tomatoes are fruit. So I guess my second fruit are these strawberries. Now so far I've grown around, I'd say 20 strawberries. They're a little slow, but they do end up growing. These came from like an actual plant. I didn't get seeds for this, so this has just continued growing. The strawberries are really sweet and very good. And then next to the strawberries we have these Mad Hatter chilies. These have yet to grow, but they're starting to. As you can see, these little buds, they turn into these little chili pods, and then they will grow into bigger chilies, and eventually we will eat them and our mouths will burn because chilies are hot as heck. Then next to this chili, we have more chili. These are just regular, let's see, they are regular fresh bite orange chilies, and I actually have a lot more of these. Now, as you can tell, they're not orange yet, but when they do turn orange, we will definitely pick them and eat them, and our mouths will once again burn, and we have a lot of them in here, but that's really fun to grow. And so I hope this has inspired you to probably go out and do something, or start something, or maybe just try something other than sitting inside all day. Just to kind of have some fun and spice up your quarantine / summer. So I really hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good summer. I hope you enjoy the rest of your quarantine. And bye!